In today's video, I want to go over with you the wireless motion sensor bundle. There's also a timer bundle that you might want to view before you make your choice to see which one best suits you. First thing I'd like to do is familiarize you with the instructions. Most people do not like to read instructions, including myself, but it will greatly help you to understand the product before you even get started. Read not only this set of instructions, which covers the sensor and the receiver, but also the operational instructions that will be included with the unit. First thing I want to show you is the battery. This is a 12-volt system. Therefore, this is a 12-volt, about a 15 amp hour lithium battery rather than a lead acid battery. They're a little cheaper, but they do not last as long. With the lithium, you get more charges and you get more duration out of each charge. It also weighs less. So this is the best operating battery for our purposes, and it fits really nice inside of the unit. Now, there may be a time where you run the battery down, either with a programming error or just in normal use, maybe having false triggers with the sensor and the battery goes completely dead. Being a lithium battery, you won't know that it's going down until it's actually dead. Lead acid batteries kind of get weaker and weaker, and then you kind of can hear and know that it's going out. Lithium batteries just go out. Now, if it goes completely dead, do not depend on the solar panel, which I will go over in a minute, to raise it up from the dead. What you need is a battery charger, and included in your unit is going to be a battery charger that will bring this up in case it's completely dead. We recommend that you also use this battery charger to charge the unit. Fully charge it before you bring it out into the field for service. Okay, this box is a galvanized box. It holds up very well in the weather. It's not completely rust proof. Over time you may get a little rust spot or two, but you can spray a little paint on there if that bothers you and refresh it. On top of it is the receiver. This is already mounted for you. Everything is already wired for you. Basically all you need with this unit is going to be 3 AAA batteries of high quality, as well as a T-post, and you may want to get 2 T-posts, because I recommend that you put the solar panel on a separate T-post. But this is the receiver here, and it can receive a signal from the wireless motion sensor about 100 feet with a good line of sight. In the woods where there's a lot of trees, it will still send the signal. It might not reach the maximum of 100 feet simply because of obstruction. So keep that in mind when you set this up. All right, inside of the box, this is pretty simple. Inside of the box, there are 2 sets of wires, and they're actually together. There's a positive, the red one is positive, the black one is negative, and you will hook these up to the battery poles, red going to positive, black to the negative. You will also notice there is another wire piggybacked onto this. We've already zip tied it and secured it, so all you have to do is plug this into the battery. But the extra wire goes to the solar panel, which you will plug in when you leave the field and hook up your solar panel before you exit. So on the back side is the T-post adapter. And this is a galvanized, very heavy duty T-post adapter. It's got a set screw in it. Unloosen the set screw pretty much all the way. Drive your T-post down to the ground, deep into the ground. I like a 7.5 foot T-post. Drive it down to where it's very secure, because the unit is somewhat heavy and you don't want the wind to blow it over and damage your unit. Once you find this position you want, crank this down really, really tight. Move it, make sure it's good and firm. Tighten it, retighten it if needed. You'll also notice, and this is intentional, that 2 screws go into the box, 2 come out of the box. And the reason for that is we don't want the points of the screws to go into the battery casing. So when you place your battery in, with this unit you can place it in sideways if you want to, that's fine. Or if you place it in kind of a long ways, place it on the side where the points of the screws are on the exterior. This is the blower. It's a 12-volt blower. you will notice on the bottom there is a little mesh plastic netting that's there. This protects the inflatable from going up into the intake and perhaps getting damaged by the fan blades. Every once in a while that's going to happen. So there is a little remedy that can help with that. And we have added extra screws to reinforce this blower. There's 2 that comes with the unit, and then we added 2 from the inside to really stabilize it. Because what you can do is take a sewer and drain pipe, not Schedule 40, but sewer and drain, 4-inch pipe, and you can cut off, I wouldn't go over 2 feet, but you can cut off about 2 foot of it, and one end will fit perfectly over this, this blower. And it will elevate the height of your inflatable, because you're going to put the inflatable on the top. And the only thing you need to do is to smooth the edges, put a little duct tape, electrical tape, or something to keep it from cutting into the fabric. But by doing so, you elevate the inflatable. It makes it look a little bigger, a little taller, as well as prevent any time it might want to suck up. It usually is less likely. All right, so this is the motion sensor, and it reads 240 degrees. Okay, this is a very broad spectrum. You're going to get more view when you kind of go up. I would go up, 8 foot is maximum. You can go lower, but you do need to be sure that you're not so low that you're just reading the ground and not getting, and you don't want to turn it up. You want to kind of keep it a little bit tilted toward the ground. So get it up a few feet. This will read about 40 feet, and that's max with a larger animal such as a deer. And so there is a control on here for distance. Be sure that you don't put it on the maximum distance if you don't need it. Because what's going to happen, you're increasing the sensitivity, but increasing sensitivity increases false triggers. And if you get too many false triggers from things that you're not wanting to set the alarm off or the unit off, then what happens is you run your battery down. So just put it on the distance that basically you need. Also on here is the time in which you can run the unit. Usually 10 seconds is the minimum. Usually 10-15 seconds is all you need to scare something out of your garden or food plot. But it can go up to 30 minutes. Don't do that. That's more than you need. A minute is actually plenty long. Also in here is the function knob, where you can turn it to having motion for 24/7, just all day and all night, or you can do random, you can do night, or you can just do day. It just depends on where you put the knob. Also, this is how you will pair an additional head. The head that comes with the unit is already paired. You don't need to pair this to the receiver. It comes paired. But if you get additional sensors, you will need to pair them, and it's really simple to do. You're going to press this button down for 3 seconds. It's going to start blinking. This needs to be on MAT so you can match the two, and once it's matched, it takes a few seconds and you'll see a little light will blink and you'll know that it's matched. Then you can turn it to PIR. Now let me explain PIR to you, passive infrared. This is a little different than just your regular motion sensors that you have on the eaves of your house. Those just pick up motion. This is heat. It's infrared heat. So when this is stationary, and it does need to be made to fit on something that's more permanent, that doesn't move. So once this is set up, this head will read in the 240 viewing field the temperature of all the things in that field. What's going to set it off is when there is a change in that temperature. So the longer it sits there within reason, for example, if you set it up there immediately and then start walking through it, it may not go off as often as it would later. If it sits there for a few minutes, even 20 minutes, 30 minutes, it's going to read all those temperatures and it knows exactly what temperature everything is. Then when something passes through this field of view that is a different temperature, that's what triggers this and turns on the unit. So that said, when you're testing the unit, Many times people will get in front of it or even to the side and walk straight towards it. Well, if you do that, it keeps reading the same temperature and it won't go off as easily as if you walk through it. So when you pass through this field of view, that's what turns it on. Now, maximum is 40 feet in a good, clear, open area. The cooler it is, the more effective it is, simply because it's picking up heat. So when a body goes through, the other temperatures are cooler and the warm temperatures picked up more readily. A lot of people buy these for birds and it works very well for birds, but keep this in mind. Birds have feathers, and even as big as a goose is, and a buzzard, they have feathers, and that insulates their heat so that it doesn't pick it up as readily. So they may have to get closer. They're not going to be picked up at like 40 feet, maybe 10, 15 feet, 20 feet if there's a flock of them or something like that. So that's going to be a little bit more challenging, but it does work very well on larger birds. All right, so there in the bottom here is where the batteries go in. You will need to get you 3 AAA batteries. I suggest lithium, and lithium batteries will last 3 to 9 months in here, just depending on how many triggers you have going on. Just place them in the little cylinder, put it back in, and this should go in. There's only one way. You think you're just going to put it in there and turn it. There's a couple of little notches in there, and you got to fit it in the right one, get it good and flush, and then twist it all the way. It'll be smooth. If it's a little cockeyed, it's not going to read right, so redo it. So once you get that in there and it's ready to go, it's already starting to sense. There's not a switch or anything you turn on or off. It's ready to go. Now you'll need to mount this little bracket. I mount mine on a T-post, and I use a self-tapping screw. Goes into the T-post, and then I mount this on that. But you can use whatever you want to. Actually, duct tape works pretty good. You put it in the crevice of a T-post and wrap duct tape around it, and that works pretty good. But this will slide into here, and it's kind of nice because you want to adjust it. Let's say while you're working, trying it out in the field, and you just pull this off, turn it over, make your adjustments, and put it back in there. So it's pretty simple. Included in there also is a motion sensor on-off switch. So this will turn the receiver on and off. It does not turn the motion sensor on or off. Again, that's controlled by having batteries in there. If you don't want this on, take the batteries out. But this can turn it on at a distance. Okay, this is the blower where you're going to mount your inflatable. And so it comes with 2 inflatables. You're going to get what we call the little half crow. It's about 3.5 foot tall. You're going to get the 6-foot tube. The little man here, he's real cute and he works good, and a lot of people like him, but I will tell you, the 6-foot tube actually works better as a pest deterrent, simply because it goes up fast and it's more erratic and it pops more. But you get both of them, and you can kind of swap them to whatever you want to use the most. And it's good to swap them up because you keep the varmints from getting used to it. All right, it also comes with this 10-watt solar panel. It's a very, very good solar panel. It's easy to use, easy to set up. All you have to do is drive your T-post in the ground. Again, I recommend a separate T-post to put this on. And this little tube will go in one of the clefts of the T-post, and included in your kit will be a gasket, and you can go all the way around the T-post and this, screw it down, it's like a hose gasket, and get it tight, and then you can turn this toward the sun. And it's already set at the proper angle. You don't want to play with this. If your T-post is straight, this is the angle you need it at. So, and then there's a card that you can undo this and bring it to, plug it into the unit, because this is what's going to charge your battery. And don't forget to plug that in before you leave in the field, because sometimes people forget to plug it in, come back, dead battery. So I think I've covered pretty much all of it. If you have any questions or need any help with any of it, we're always here to help you, and we wish you the very best with it. And if we can help you in any way, please let us know. Thank you for watching the video.